Have you ever deployed infrastructure with Terraform only to realize hours later that a typo in your configuration has caused a cascading failure? Or you've spent too much time debugging why your module isn't working only to discover you passed it in the wrong variable type? If you're nodding your head right now, you're definitely not alone. But here's the good news. Terraform version 1.9 dropped some game-changing improvements to input validation that's going to save you countless headaches. And we have Danny Smith to thank for breaking down exactly why these updates matter so much. Danny recently published an insightful blog post on LinkedIn diving deep into the input validation enhancements in Terraform 1.9. It's a must-read for anyone working with infrastructure as code. He highlights how these new features fundamentally change the way we can catch errors before they become expensive problems in production. Let's explore what makes these improvements so exciting and how you can start using them today. First up, let's talk about what input validation actually means in the Terraform world. When you're writing Terraform modules, you define input variables that users pass to customize the behavior, making your Terraform reusable. Before version 1.9, your options for validating those inputs were pretty limited. You could check basic types like string or number, but anything more sophisticated required custom validation blocks that were often clunky and hard to maintain. Danny points out that this has led to many runtime errors that could have been caught much easier in the development lifecycle. So what exactly changed in Terraform 1.9? The headline feature is the new enhanced validation rules that give you far more granular control over what values variables can accept. You can now define some complex validation logic directly in your variable declarations using more expressive conditions, allowing us to check for all those pesky edge cases. You can look for specific patterns, validate ranges, ensure specific string formats, and even cross-reference multiple variables. Danny emphasizes that this shift moves error detection from runtime to planning time, which is absolutely huge for reliability. Let's get practical for a moment. Imagine you're creating a module that provisions cloud resources, and you need to ensure that a region variable only accepts valid region codes. Previously, you might have written a validation block with a regex pattern, but the error messages were often cryptic and unhelpful. With the new improvements, you can write clearer validation rules with custom error messages that actually help anyone running Terraform understand what went wrong and how to fix it. Danny's blog includes some real-world examples that show you just how much cleaner and more maintainable this code becomes. Another major improvement highlighted is the ability to validate complex object types more effectively. If you're passing in a nested object or lists of objects as variables, you can now validate the structure and contents at a much deeper level. This is particularly valuable for large teams where multiple people are consuming the same modules. Better validation support means fewer support tickets and less debugging, and more confidence that your infrastructure code will work as expected. So why does all of this matter? Danny presents a compelling case that these validation improvements represent the maturation of the Terraform platform. As infrastructure as code becomes more central to how organizations operate, tooling needs to provide stronger guardrails and faster feedback loops. Catching configuration errors during the plan phase rather than during the apply, or worse, in production, can save enormous amounts of time and prevent costly outages. It's about shifting left in the development process and building quality in from the start. The best part? You can start using this feature now. If you're already on Terraform 1.9 or later, these validation capabilities are available by default. Danny encourages that everyone revisit their modules and consider where enhanced validation could prevent common mistakes. Even adding just a few validation rules can make a big difference in the developer experience for anyone using your modules. So here's what I want you to do. First, go check out Danny Smith's blog. Thank you, Danny, for this incredible blog. I think you're nearing 20 blogs just on Terraform so far this year. Look at all the technical details and the code examples. He really breaks it down in a way that's easy to understand and immediately actionable. Second, if you haven't upgraded to Terraform 1.9 yet, now is a great time to plan that migration. Third, review your most commonly used modules and identify where stronger input validation could save you time and headaches. And if you did find this helpful, please subscribe to stay updated with the latest IAC tips. Leave a comment and let me know what Terraform features you'd like to see me cover in the future. Have you already tried the new validation rules in 1.9? Share your experiences. Have you saved time? Have you saved money? Does it work as you expect? And definitely follow Danny Smith on LinkedIn for more great articles. He's constantly putting them out there. They're incredibly valuable, and it makes all of us better cloud infrastructure engineers. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay merge ready.